Hey, I hope everyone is well. I hope that you're looking at life in a way you probably perhaps never have done before. And you're probably wondering what life's about now and what you can do about your freedom, about kids going back to school, when they're going back to school, about your safety, about the vaccine, about your future, about your love lives, your loved ones. You're probably wondering what's life about. You know, especially if you're in the UK, what I'm hearing is people are still going off on holiday and having fun like they've got a life. But when you're in the UK, it seems such a dark place. The highest of all. Yeah, somehow. Sometimes you have to have your own mind in what is happening, and you have got to make decisions about your life that are scary. And who are you walking amongst now? With this vaccine, have you been tested? Have you not been tested? What's in the test? You've seen so many images about what's in what goes out there. It's bound to unnerve you and unsettle you, and you take an attitude to it where you try and shut it off. So you don't want to watch the telly. You don't want to really listen to the same old rhetoric over and over again. You don't want to discuss the same stuff over and over again. You want to blank it out like it's not happening. Well, that's the best way sometimes, and find something else to put your mind and your focus in. But when it comes to your body, your health, and you may need medical intervention or medical treatment, what do? You go to the GP about your problem, but you try and rectify it in the meantime yourself. But you go to the GP about your problem. GP says, we'll give you a camera so we can explore. A scary procedure, right? That's nerve-wracking. Probably depend on where you're having the procedure done. So what do you do? I had the phone call today. The phone call that made me feel so sad for humanity in the choices that have been made, Sorry, I'm just making sure that my voice is heard somewhere along the line. Somebody might listen. Because I'm sure there's people feeling like I am all over the world. I found me. Oh yeah, I found me. I found me. Listen to this, is what I'm listening to. I'm being just Kerry tonight. A woman that just gives back. So, listen to this. Whilst I find my page. This music breathing, relax through the music. Okay. Thank you for being patient with me. Okay. I'll do what I need to do, because sometimes being a lone worker can take its toll. Sometimes, I volunteer my time to help other people, and to give them advice and some direction, just a lending ear sometimes, a lending ear, and you won't believe the mountains I've had to climb to just sit here and be able to talk to you guys today. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad that all my vicious circles of misdemeanors have been nipped in the bud, where I can now focus on who I am and where I'm going and the choices that I make for my life from this point out. I think when you're a survivor, you know, this what's going on here, yeah, it throws another spanner in the works. After all you've been through, you're just starting to breathe, and here we go with another bombshell. But only it is the whole world that is experiencing it, but some have a better experience in life than others. And over here in the UK, it's just depression, isn't it? So how do we get out of that depression? But how do we take care of our bodies? You know, I bought gym equipment. Oh, I can't find it. I bought gym equipment. I bought a hula hoop. I had to stop doing the hula hoop, which is then, you see, everything I go to try and do past tense, there's been a barrier. And I can't even do the hula hoop anymore at the moment because I came out with bruises. I tried so hard, just like I always do, try so hard to impress, to be accepted, to explore people and the journeys. And I think I've made my own decision in life and where I'm going with my life. But on a health scale, a decision I had to make today, what was in the best interest of me, and remove fear and remove anxiety. Medically, I felt like I was waiting for an appointment. I mean, there's nothing worse than having bowel problems. You know, I was waiting for an appointment, and I think bowel problems should always be monitored and looked at wisely. And but let's start with the diet and the food and what you're eating and drinking, etc. as well. Plus, get your results. But when they said they would do a colonoscopy, yeah, that word. Can't say the word colonoscopy. Yeah, the camera. Yeah, when they said they were going to do that, I just kind of put it at the back of my head. Don't really, going to GPs and things like that. And I put it at the back of my head. But appointment came. And when the appointment came, hold on a minute, I haven't even had my blood results back yet. I haven't even had any of those results back. Here you are offering me an exploratory treatment without even offering me other. Why didn't you ask me about my diet plan first? Why didn't you ask me about my intake, or how much coffee I drink, or how much, what I'm doing or doing to my body before you start pumping me or this, or wanting to put me on operations or doing something like that? But the thing is, I was willing to kind of explore in a sense until they phoned me up today and they said to me, hey, your appointment. What appointment? Okay, for my blood results. All right, then fine. No, colonoscopy. Oh, for that. Oh right. Okay. When you take those kind of calls, it's just like, here you go, here it is. Where's the explanation first? What is it in detail before I even come to you? So I had to ask, if I have to come for that, do I have to be tested for COVID? Yes, you do. Right. My head's all over the place with equipment, okay? With the things and images that I've seen on Facebook, which have been sent to me by WhatsApp, all of those things. Obviously, you've got to make up your own mind, but I had to make a decision. I don't recommend people take on board what I say. I say I had to make a decision for oneself, and that was to put it off. I don't want it just yet. I would like to wait, perhaps maybe when this pandemic is over, perhaps maybe when things are more calmer, perhaps when I don't have to be blackmailed. That's how I felt. Take the COVID test or you get no treatment. That's how I felt today. You get no treatment if you don't take that test. So whatever your condition, we'll have to manage it another way then, won't we? So that was kind of heartbreaking to know that if that's what we're resorted to now, is a bargaining chip for our health condition. There was another person that said, right, they will only employ people if they've had the vaccination. That's another bargaining chip. Be in my club. This is what we're about now, picking sides. Do you want to be in my club? Because I find that discriminatory. Safety for all. I understand that. But I might as well go on holiday instead and do the 14-day COVID test and go on holiday and not worry about nothing. Don't worry about that. See, either way, I'm not going on holiday because I don't want to take the test. I'm not going into hospital because I don't want to take the test. I don't. I have my own beliefs, and I have a belief in a higher power. I think that's what got me through suicide in the first place. That's what got me through depression. That's what got me through a lot of storms. My faith. I don't have an image. No, I don't. But I believe there has to be something that kept me alive. To empower me to help. To give me the tools to empower myself to help other people through the storm. To get people to think for themselves. Because we've been so trained. Many of us have been picked up some habits of other people. We've been taking directions, tips, advice from sometimes people that can't even get their own back garden sorted out. You know? But it's our choice of the information we're willing to explore. Maybe there is some truth, maybe there isn't some truth. You know, when it comes to habits of your body, there are people that have lived through the experience, people that may well have that answer, that has already set up perhaps a wellness clinic around those areas, so you can explore other areas if you're able to manage your whatever's happening with you. Explore every angle before. You see, there was another lady that when I told her about them, they were thinking about exploring, she then told me of her experience, and she feels that the experience was the death of her mother. So, you know, and you see, so then that was her telling me, which kind of like I had to think. She's asking me not to take it, not to do it, but that's her opinion. She's not saying don't do it. She's saying this is what she thinks. So when people project their opinions, that's only because they have concerns or they're skeptical. You know, that they'd rather explore a little bit more before taking a final decision about their health. Time. It doesn't wait much for anyone, does it? You get the opportunity in the now, in the day. Here I am today, having an opportunity to speak. So I completely feel that I'm going to have to speak up in another way. I am not going to keep putting myself out to feel disappointed with the world. I'm just going to find things and the beauty in life to try and occupy myself each day. I will bring awareness when I can, but I'm not prepared to put myself out on a limb when other people can't be bothered anymore either. I'm supposed to set the example. Why do I have to set the example? Why doesn't somebody else set the example? Because the example has been set for me. That when it comes to your life, it's about you. What you put into you. The decisions you make for you. How you plan and task your days. How you see your body. What you can do about it to improve it. It's not all the doom and gloom, you know. You can have some of those answers within about fixing your bodies and making yourself more comfortable and listening to other people that's lived it and gone through it. They've got the answers. They're going to tell you all day long they've got the answers. And I think it was quite shocking that time had come where perhaps I brought it forward myself because I thought about it. Who knows? But it was quite a little bit distressing. I won't lie. I got a little bit upset about it. And then I received an email to say my appointment had been cancelled and that I am to go back to my GP, my general practitioner, the person that is practicing on my body, practicing ideas. But I don't feel that I've been sat down and spoken about, really, about diet plans. And I'm being honest with you. I've not been spoken about a diet plan. I haven't been spoken about what is your intake of your food, what are you eating, what are you putting in your system. I haven't had that explored to me. You see, we're gullible. We think they've got the answers. They're practicing on you. You allow it. Sometimes they're spot on. They get it right because they've been doing it for a long time and they're mastered it. But ultimately, the choices are yours. And how you go forward and how you look after your body, that starts with your mind. Prepping your mind not to sink down into depression and worry about the things you cannot change. There are people on waiting lists that are not being seen. On waiting lists that are not being seen and need medical urgency. I let them go first. I'll wait. I will wait because I will just wait for a while because I've been taking Juice Plus product, because I've been taking vitamins, 4 different types, and making sure that I eat salads, a lot of salad, and I'm getting my fish intake. It's probably about the only kind of meal I like. I like mackerel, you know, so, and I like my couscous because it's not heavy. It's very, very quick to make. You can add onion, add whatever you want to it, so it's not boring. To get a flavoured one, and it's a healthy option. And it's quick. I can do a meal in 5 minutes. You don't always want the same thing after all, though, but at the end of the day, mix it with salad and have a little bit of protein, and way to go. You've got to look after yourself. And I think when you reach a certain age, when your body starts, when your joints start to ache, you've got to realise that something has to change. Something has to change. You know, more walks, more talks. But you see, people are afraid to go for the walk, but you can go for a walk. You know, but it's not just a walk you want. I want to be able to exercise in my room. But I want people to hold my hand sometimes. I like company. Who doesn't like company? And then my company starts to become on Zoom now. Everybody I speak to is on Zoom and on technology, barely have a phone call, right? Or, I mean, everything is a digital world. When was the last time do you actually know your home phone number? Do you know anybody's telephone number off by heart? Nowadays, we don't do it. We just go tink, and it just picks to the person that you want to speak to. Who's uplifting? Who's upbeat? Who's got time? Who's going where? What direction is everyone going in? I tell you, I think I've found the beauty of life, exploring life and listening to people's journeys, listening to their medical problems and learning from it, and learning what you can do just in case things happen to you, learning in advance. So I think that's where I've benefited from my own health, is to listen to people about their problems, their health, what they do to get better. Because everyone has a tip and a tool and a solution to help you through the storm. Recommendations. You can try them. You can say you've got a backache. Someone will say, get a nice hot bath, love, and put some Radox in it, and or I used to say, when I used to have a bad back, my back seized up one time. I was confined to a chair for a few months, and I had to sleep. This is the way I had to sleep, and it was very difficult to stretch out. It was hard and difficult to stretch out. So I used to roll a towel out, what was recommended, and put that behind my neck just to strengthen the posture, just slightly, And that's the thing, when you're sitting in the chair and you're sinking like that, I'm hunching my back, and especially if you're at a computer, hunching the back. So, so I think I'm very privileged to be able to bring awareness to the community under health, real reality, real life, and real emotions. And they don't just come from me. When I bring in guests, they tell you about their journey, what they're going through, what they've explored, and they put their heart on the sleeve. No, heart on the line to tell you. But it's a brave thing when people get them to live. It's an amazing, incredible thing when people talk live. So, because it gives you something to watch, right? Unfortunately, not everybody wants to tune in because they get fed up. Oh, it's that girl. This is the problem we've got. Oh, it's her. Oh, she does mental health. I've heard it before. When I ask people, what do you know what I do? No. My own people that are my friends list ain't got a clue what I do. They always there. She's just talking again. She's not just talking, darling. She's raising awareness. She raises awareness and is real with it. It's almost like bringing new services to your door in front of you, so you can then get the check. It's like a consultation, isn't it? When I'm bringing special guests in, they're telling you signs, this, that, and the other, go through, and then you've got the questions that you want to ask. You're getting free consultations online with what to do about things. Fitness. Since joining a fitness group, I must say I've got a hula hoop, and I've got to get some weights. I'm waiting for my attire to wear so I can get on with it and start and do some kit feet. And I'm thinking my Zumba, and I will do that, and I know I will do that. It's about getting this strong, and it's not saying that I'm not strong. It's not saying I'm weak. I'm not weak. It's just that sometimes life can be a bit of a muddle, and getting it organised is difficult. Sometimes I just want to sit down and do nothing, like everybody. Well, like some people can sit down and do nothing, but to sit down and do nothing is to fall back into the old routine of what you're doing for the community. And I would like to say that I do my part for the community, and I'm going to continue to do my part for the community, little and often, because I keep hearing people saying you need to do this and you need to do that. Hold on a minute, I'm the one who's supposed to have the mental health and in recovery. Yeah, I'm doing as much as I can, but if I haven't got a helping hand in that, then it's easy for people to start acting like Lord Sugar now. As here's a great idea. You can see how it's developing, but sometimes the painful part about it is sit patiently. The help will come from somewhere. What help do you need? I think it's about revamping, and to think about myself and continue raising awareness and delivering what I need to deliver when I need to deliver it. But I, can I be my own worst enemy sometimes in letting go of people? No. I learned that sometimes we have to say goodbye to people that can't be bothered to text back, see your messages, and don't text back. But they've been present elsewhere. I think it comes to the point where what are we prepared to take as far as manners? And this is what we're talking about. I think in within the community, we are talking solely with one another, manners and respect. And I think a lot of people have lost manners when they get into this digital technical world, or even doing for themselves. They've lost manners. Why does manners go out of the way? Do you know what? Half me just want to just go boom and start all over again. Half of me does. I'm tired. I'm thinking, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited. That's the ups. And then there's the self-pity. Yeah, but nobody else is doing it. Nobody else seems to be bothered. Nobody else is consistent. Consistency. Nobody else, they talk and walk the talk, but they just don't walk this way with consistency and planning and scheduling. That's what I have to do on a day-to-day basis. People say, why aren't you sleeping? I struggle to go to sleep because the mind is creative and wants to help people. And until I find the solutions to what is causing me to have lack of sleep, then unfortunately, I feel that I'm not completing my journey correctly, because something has to give, something has to change. Maybe I should turn this into a complete charity, because it's a charitable cause and it's a social enterprise is what I do, giving back to the community. Suicide prevention is not just about talking about it, it's providing the solutions, right? Okay, let's get real here. Let's get real. The medical problems that us people have, people that sit there and struggle with weight. Okay, you want something to help you. If you want someone to help you, want someone to go guide you, want someone to hold your hand, somebody to sit beside you, there are people there. But you see, I can guide people in all of those directions where people are actually doing it, providing those solutions. I can do that all day long. But when I want a bit of help, this is where I get deflated, disencouraged, and that's where I just think to myself, it's like chucking in the towel and sit back and take a holiday. That's what I feel like sometimes. Honestly, if I'm honest with you, I'm not dressed today. Yeah, I chucked this on over a t-shirt. Yeah, because I could look a little bit respectful, so people doesn't judge me. Oh, she's off again. Oh no, she's crazy. She couldn't get herself dressed today. Judgmental people. All I ever wanted to do was save life. All I ever wanted to do was make that difference. All I wanted to do was get people to think for themselves and stop out getting people to tell you what to do, what to wear, where to go, who you can be friends with. How do you become a woman? I can't speak for men. How do you become a woman? A real woman who does respect themselves. What's your limitations? Where are your boundaries for yourself? Because there's women out there that are drained, juggling motherhood, juggling how to be, just myself alone have several roles. I'm Kerry. She needs to learn to take care of herself. And sometimes because she invests in other people, and then I've got children to think about. That's 1, 2, 3 personalities, and then my grandchildren to think about them, and then how do I stay in touch? Have I got enough time? Did I ring them last week? Did I not? Did I see them? Did I not? Is it their birthdays coming up? Juggling all that, and then your friends. You juggle them as well. Did I speak to them last week? Oh, it's been a long time since I spoke to them, and I know that they'll probably moan because I haven't spoken to them for a little while. And it isn't moaning; it's that people are saying they want consistency and stability. And sometimes I think to myself, when you're a grandparent out there, I don't think we should be chasing up the grandkids all the time. As a grandparent, the kids should be coming to us. That's changed in this world. That doesn't happen. In this world, I think I was honoured when I actually, my children would bring my grandchildren to see me. That's the way I believe is really nice and heartwarming and very thoughtful and makes you feel honoured. It makes you feel like the child is coming to see its grandparent. Makes you feel like, oh, I feel like a nanny now. What does a nanny feel like? Okay, it's a privilege. It's your past in that baby, but good past, good blood, the part that is innocent, the part that you're going to protect. That anything that happened to me, I don't want to happen to my grandchildren. So the education's got to be spot on, point on, and everything that I've gone through. Of course, I'm going to have to pass on some of my knowledge to children. Don't let people treat you like this. Don't let them treat you like this. If people ain't texting you back, tell them. If they stopped, if they're not going to text you back after that, leave them. Shut the door. Because you asked for an explanation. Do it in a voice message so they can actually hear what you're saying. Don't text because that can get misconstrued. This is our way of communicating, isn't it? Phone, medical, workshops. By the way, I'm going to be starting up the workshops. Going to be bringing in the professionals for you if you really want to get well, if you want to know knowledge about things. Yeah, those workshops for your health, for your self-esteem, for you if you're women at the end of the day, women, men and women too. I'm not going to discriminate, but some women, we want to talk about stuff. We want to talk about stuff. And the reason why women talk to women, because at the end of the day, we have that experience, but sometimes it's good to hear from a male point of view also. It is. But being a woman is a hard job. It's very tough, especially when you're doing something for the community. There's that judgment. You just have to learn to just switch off the judgment. Oh, it can come in waves, can't it? You just need to just take it and say, you know what, that's material today. Thank you very much. Ta-ting! Who won? I did, because I wasn't beaten down by judgmental people. So they say what doesn't kill you make you stronger. So for me, being a woman is very difficult, and someone said to me today, this is what I like speaking to therapists myself, and I was told that time, whose time are you on? Whose time are you on? Because you don't know what will happen. Why waste it? Miserable. What do you want to do? Whose time are you on? And it's about oneself, right? Self-esteem. Many people don't know how to get their self-esteem back when they lost it. Watch how Stella got her groove back. I love that film. Watch how Tina Turner did it. Love that film. What's your best movie? What inspired you to? Because obviously we have images in our head of snapshots of strong, inspirational people that have left a key message within you to actually make you go, hold on, this journey's not for me. Let me just go down that path instead. I think the inspirational people, there have been a few in my life. If I have to relate music to my past, it's funny, you can press a song and it will take you back, won't it, to place perhaps, oh, I don't want to play that song no more. It put me back to that memory, you know. And so play things that you don't know. Or because I find that even when you play songs that remind you of dancing in a nightclub, it then becomes a depressing state because at the end of the day, you're like, oh my God, I can't go to the nightclub anymore. And then we think, are we too old for this nightclub now? Are we past it by the time they let down lockdown? Are we going to be too old? Well, I've got news for that nightclub now. I've actually realised that I can have that nightclub in the comfort of my own home. Not be bothered, not be chatted up, not be drunk with someone having drunk people in my face all the time. And so I'm safe. I'm safe on that aspect of just putting my headphones on and joining my Friday nights chaps and giggles, where I'm getting education, I'm getting games, I'm participating in games, and then I get a little disco at the end of it, and I'm loving it. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it because it's somewhere for me to go, and it's a mature setting. We men. Oh, I'm going to read that. Thanks. Oh, hello. You seem to be the only one watching me since I got one viewer. That's see what I mean. Where's everyone? Nobody wants to listen to me or tune into me anymore. I don't really care. We men, for some reason, tend not to have a range of depth of discussion that women usually do. I think it would benefit us if we did. Are you up for that then, Mark? Because me and you need to talk. Are you up for that? We can set that up. I'd love for you to come and talk to me on and off in your own time. We can disguise your name, we can disguise your identity as and when they don't see it coming. You know how it goes. But yeah, you up for that? Yeah, yeah. And that's the problem. I think that's where men fail, if I'm honest, because I would like to do workshops with men and women where men want to address their faults or flaws or behaviours. I'm not saying suggesting that men had a fault. I'm just saying, and vice versa, women as well, because it's about that self-esteem. That self-esteem gets knocked down each time you go from a relationship. You're worried about that next relationship in case it ends up being the blink and same. Oh, you can trust him. I trust him. I trust him. Did we go for the meal? It's hard to find someone who's got their stuff together. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to find someone with the same aims and direction. It's very difficult. It's been, for me, past tense, has been very difficult to appreciate relationships because men, I found, didn't speak much about their emotions. They shoo their emotions. That's what I found. And that's what the ways that they shoo their emotions, the I love yous, the I love yous became very painful. The I love yous meant that they could sleep with who they wanted. The I love yous meant that they could tell me what to wear, where to go. The I love yous meant you're mine and you would do as you're told. The I love yous isolated me from people that I couldn't speak to. The I love yous meant that even if you had male friends before you met that person person would tell you to get rid of your male friends. So that said that they didn't trust you from the onset because that's what you don't know. These are the things that you grow through, you know what I mean? So, but there are good men out there. There are good men out there, and I think there is a good person in everyone. We just have to find the right balance of the right level of the right chemistry and the right love language, and what is the expectations from one human being. I think women have an expectation. Some women have a high expectation of what life should feel like, because especially after they've been brought up with all of this, women, girls to be queens and fairies and angels and everything else. We've been put ourselves in that arena to watch those chick flicks, I'm afraid. And watching those chick flicks, why can't we have that life? Why can't we have it all? You know? Why can't we? It's the same for a man, isn't it? Why can't he have it all? Why can't he have that life? And I think it's down to individuality of what is it that you're afraid of that stops you going forward, or where you continue the same patterns in relationships, well, perhaps where you may, and that's what let's just leave it like that, where the same patterns are continued within the relationship, where the relationship becomes miserable, and upsetting. So what do? How much time do you waste on it, on relationships, when you're unhappy, when you've got one life, when somebody else out there could be waiting for you who's going to treat you right? Now, talking, I think that's what's costing a lot of people when they shut down. They could save their relationship. This goes exactly the same for when you've got children and or grown-ass adult children as well, and the children won't speak to you either. It's exactly the same. When kids won't talk to you, won't express. It's not the fact that they don't know how. Of course they do to their girlfriend. So let's not give you that rubbish, okay? Let's not go there. It's just that there's limitations and boundaries on how far we're going to go with any kind of relationship. What's the fear factor in it? This is why there can be a tension in people's relationships, because there are no boundaries, for instance, or there's never been a discussion. People just get into relationship without setting the boundaries or discussion, you know. Let's have a look. And it's nice to find a man, or to be around people or men that express their emotions. Unfortunately, some men express their emotions to other people other than their partner, and that sets a standard, really, because that should, it's a disappointment, isn't it? I think you expect that women expect, some women said my partner's my best friend. When you hear that, it's so beautiful to hear that my partner is my best friend, and that's the thing that you want to hear for relationships. Mark, I am happy to show emotions and share feelings these days, not so much when younger, but particularly among people who value you. If anything, it enriches the relationships. It does, because they kind of got that stability of knowing where they are. But I think when change comes, sometimes it can really throw people off balance. I'm going to look in depth at behaviour, and I do look in depth at behaviour. I'm going to start my own YouTube channel, so it's not a part or affiliated with the Mom Project at all, so I can be just myself. Because I found that when I want to just talk, I just want to talk, and sometimes I just want to talk, and I just want to talk, not in a professional manner or try to be uppity or slow it down. I just want to talk. And I think it's great that I do raise awareness in the community to surrounding the underlying issues of depression. But let's go from where it started from first. It's a development of relationships. As a woman, what was your relationship like with your father? What was your relationship like with your mother? Where does the guidance come from? What is the expectations when you do get with somebody else? You know what I mean? I can speak so much on relationships. Oh yeah, I've been through the mill and back. Trust me, I had 3 divorces, and I used to be laughed at and said that I was Elizabeth Taylor, and I found that to be an insult, because I look at it that if that word love doesn't work out, then why do women, or I have to say, I'm going to speak on a woman's behalf, because I'm a woman. I'm not going to speak on behalf of a man. I don't wear those things, okay? So let me speak on behalf of a woman. Why is it that we give yourself time to grieve, they say? I think before we end a relationship, we've already bloody done that. You get to the point where you're lonely, or you get to the point where things are you're wrong or something ain't right. If you're feeling lonely as a woman, you're feeling lonely, innit? You can only sit there and address things don't change. Then you get to the point where self-respect. Where do you go from here? Now, the problem that we have, society says you should wait, self-heal, give yourself some time to grow and explore. People are dropping down dead. Yeah, people are dropping down dead, left, right, and centre. Why you got to put your life on hold? For who? For who? For who? Who are you pleasing? Unless you got children, I suggest, take time out. because you got to find out what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I think getting to know people and talking to people, what is it that you want from people? I just want a conversation. You know, I like a intellectual conversation, but I like to laugh. And I think laughing with our phone up a friend, it's like that Chris Tarrant show, in it? Yeah, millionaire who wants to be a millionaire. Do you phone a friend? 50-50, you know, who do you call to bring you a bit of sunshine in your life? Hey? So my selection of list, who have I spoken to today? I have spoken to Canada. No, I didn't. That was yesterday. I spoke to the US of A today, briefly. Hi. So that was a drop in of hello. I spoken to a therapist today. Hi, self-worth. And it was encouragement. Those are the kind of conversations that I got today. Was have a great day. Live your life for today. Enjoy yourself. But hi, that was the positivity that was spread throughout the day. What have I done? I'm supposed to send some links right now for my tomorrow's event. Haven't quite done that yet. And I feel that whatever I do, I'm doing it good. I'm raising awareness and I love what I'm doing. And I just love it. Hold on, let me read these comments. I think men should talk as well as women do, especially on mental health and how they should share how men feel emotional stuff too. It's good to share feelings. Hello, you are right. They should. They should absolutely talk, because when you're in any kind of relationship or partnership, you share in the same space amongst each other, like women do, but women feel more than men. Thank you. Women, I think there was an old saying, women are emotional and men are logical. And I would like to really turn that around. Women are nesters and they like to make sure the house is safe, to make sure the bills are paid, to make sure that food is on time, and make sure that everybody is all right. Make sure your clothes and your washing is done and all of that. Women are natural nesters, with or without. They're natural nesters, homemakers. Okay, so with men were seen to be tinkering around with boys and their toys, you know what I mean? So they did that. That was what the imprint has been. That's the stigma. That's what they've learned. Nowadays, I think we have to, in this 2021, have to come together and talk. We have to even address where some of this emotion is coming from. What can you do? How can you, even as a tip and a task for people that are in relationships or whatever, or thinking about whatever they're doing, task, what can you do? If there's no vision for the future, if there's no tomorrow in that vision of planning together, when you join in unity, you come together in unity, right? That means you're going to share time with each other. And when you're going to share time with each other, that means you're going to plan an adventure and share that path with each other. Yes, you can have separate lives or separate interests. One might read Harry Potter and one might read Dumbo, for example. We might like different things, but when you are in the same space, there has to be a plan. There has to be some interest. There has to be something that keeps the fire burning. You have to recreating, your relationships. You can't just keep, Monday is fish and chips, Tuesday is mashed potato, Wednesday, oh, it's such a surprise, and Thursday it's blah, blah, blah. Who's cooking that? Where is the surprise? If it's a routine in relationships all the time, then yeah, it does devalue women. I can't talk on a man. I do know, I've heard men's stories all the time when men said that women don't listen. Their women don't listen. Or is it the right word is your women can hear, because obviously you can hear a voice. The women don't understand and the men don't understand. And that's why we have to find the right love language, but also what you're willing. If nobody, it's like a contract. It's exactly the same with friends. It becomes like a contract. what you're willing to do. How are you willing to communicate effectively? And if you ain't willing to communicate effectively, do what I do. Shut it off. Because you're wasting words. It's wasted words when you keep repeating yourself over and over again and nothing changes. So it comes down to one's self and decision making. But it depends on whether the man wants to open up and express themselves. Not all men are able to verbalize their feelings. And that costs them. It costs women too. And hence where the depression comes into it. Hence where all the cycle of don't want to implement words that can go with the depression and the habits. Let me use the habits. Okay. And it can really throw women off course, especially if they've suffered with mental ill health before. I'm not suggesting it's a reason. I'm saying that there's traumas, there's trigger factors. And when there are trigger factors, we're asking for stability. And can we get that? I'm 50 now. Yeah, I'm 50 now. And when you look like life begins at 50, life begins now. Don't wait till 50. Don't wait till tomorrow. Life begins now. People can't appreciate it. Then you have to come up with a plan and what you're going to do for yourself. Okay. You know, I recreated my relationship with my husband and we started going to soul weekends. That's what I'm talking about. You hear that? So even though they're in the soul weekend, there are online events that you can actually go and sit with your partner on and participate and be in. And you can go to those discos. You can create your own disco. You don't need to go on and watch anybody else. Create your own disco. I have a disco light in my kitchen. I put that on and I set the scene. And you know what? Every Friday, I put my face on as well. And I dress up. And ain't no one watching but me. I feel good. And if somebody gets my eye and I've got their attention, now it doesn't mean I'm out for anything like that. I felt good for me. I shoe up for me. I did, and I put my makeup on for me. By the way, this is just temporary. I'm going to wash it off in a minute. But at the end of the day, I don't want the judgment. If the judgment is there, I don't care. But at the end of the day, people are more likely to stop by, aren't they? If I look a little bit presentable. So at the end of the day, then looking like a ragger. I just said Kerry today, she looks crap. Nah, I have to show up for me. As much as times when it comes to doing a live, there's times like, yeah, but Kerry, you made a commitment. Stick to the commitment. So it is showing up for oneself. Have a commitment to yourself. Have a plan of what you're going to do to make your life better. Because we've been learning to sit in silence a lot with partners. And if I will go back to my previous partners, sitting in silence, living in the same household, and yet not even having a conversation. One sitting on the sofa, the other one hanging off the sofa, dribbling out of their mouth, falling asleep on the sofa all the while, and there's no interaction. And it gets to the point where instead of watching the telly now, you start watching them. And you watch closely. When you start falling out of your comfort zone with your once love, you start looking at them in a different way. And you don't want to use the word hate, because that's a nasty word, isn't it? You want to say that I'm uncomfortable with the way or what you've become. How could you leave me here hanging on my own when I'm asking you to help me up? Motivation is the same as like wanting to do exercise, and you say, can you help me do some exercise because I need some motivation? You want your partner there. Yesterday I saw a man and woman job and I thought, oh, that's really nice. They're doing things together. That's what we want. Right. Okay. Thought I would share how I feel. I had quite bad feelings lately, but I had to deal with feelings inside of me. It was horrible. I was sad, and I'm working through it so slowly. And that's all you can do, because what's happening is when, for me, what I know is when you get to the point of your relationships and they're not where you want them to be, in a sense, even though we're not talking about we're talking about living people, it's kind of like a grieving period of what once was, and you keep thriving for that to come back. You want it back over and over again. I want what I once had. I remember when you used to do this for me. Can we go back to that memory that made me feel really happy? How do we get back to that place that made us, well, made me happy, but it made you laugh, and making you laugh made me happy, vice versa. And I think that's what we grieve for, once was. And when it stops happening, when there's no dating, when there's no planning, and when there's no team building, there's no, and it's all one-sided, then I think that you have to look at yourself and what you're going to allow in life, I'm afraid. I think, can you live under the same roof as somebody else and let them get on with it and plan and find your own happiness? Of course you can, sweetheart. You can. You can find a hobby. Nowadays, you don't even have to go out to find a hobby. And I found 2 hobbies, 3, online. One of those hobbies online is Champs and Gills, yeah, on a Friday night. That's where I go, okay? That's for me. Anyone can attend. Okay, there's no discrimination there. Anyone can send, and God knows I send those links out. On a Thursday night, I go to Comedy on a Couch. God knows I send those links out too. That's what I'm doing for me. But there are other people, other events, and other things that you can find interesting. On Saturday, I'm going to Creative Arts. And if you would like that place, because the lady, we had a donation, and we did have a donation. And if you are serious, anybody is serious about wanting a placement to do creative arts, and it's mosaic, and they want to do that once a month or whenever they want to do it as part of a hobby towards themselves and something they can create and have at the end of it, then please do come forward and say, look, Kerry, I heard there's some free courses somewhere. Could you let me know? Because you know what I do. Could you let me know where the free courses are? But I ain't messing around. Anybody wants to know about free courses, okay, because I'm not making myself so accessible. If people want to know about free courses or how they can get involved in the things health factors and the things that they want, if they want therapy, and it doesn't have to come from me. There's other people that are therapists. They want counseling, if they want guidance, if they want something. There's email. Send your email to Kerry's. Oh, hold on. I'll just tell you. If you're patient and you want my email, if you want to, therefore, it's all discretion that way. Nobody knows who's doing what. So if you want my email, send the email to Kerry Angels Event at yahoo.com. That's KERRY ANGELS EVENT at yahoo.com. If there's any messages, any dear Kerry stories that you want to send in and you would like for me to indirectly read them out at a later date so you can have your story heard without a name being mentioned, I'm willing to do those things as well. I love reading people's things out and then giving them a guidance of what they could do, where they could get some help and solutions. So yeah, that's me for the day. Have your own mind, but know your worth. A woman's worth, right? What is a woman's worth? Know your worth. You think we came into this world on our own? We will go out on our own anyway. The people that are in our space, that's what you're asking for. When you share space, we're asking for respect, consideration, understanding, time, commitment. And it's like team building. And it's like showing up to a job, innit? When you go to a job, the work has to be done. If you don't put into the job, then unfortunately there's no job. So the work has to be put in. Right. Okay. I'm just reading your messages. Sorry. Right. It costs. That's right. We have to let the genie out of the bottle. There's no other way. I'm in far happier place now but for 55, lol, took me many, many years. Exactly. Exactly. And I think at the end of the day, it does help the people that you're around, how encouraging they are. Do they have good listening skills? Are they a good communicator without blame? And that's the thing. People often say, wow, if it wouldn't happen if you'd done that. That's just an excuse. why did it happen? Look at the why did it happens and what you can change, you know. So yes, dress up and live life. We always feel so much better when we invest time in ourselves. Absolutely. And it's sad, isn't it? That it's sad because there's times where I've got dressed up and I've looked so hot. And somebody just walked straight past me. And you're left like this, you know. And so then you end up, as a woman, you end up retracting again. You don't want to put yourself out there so forthwith. If a man keeps rejecting, the man's not going to listen, then at the end of the day, then hey, there's an old saying, who don't hear will feel. And the other saying is, you never wish your water until your well runs dry. That's another saying. So it's good to talk. If you're married and if you're in a relationship, if you are, this topic wasn't even supposed to be about relationships. If you're in a relationship, then talk, then consider what you think romance is. If you are leaving a relationship, then do it dignified, because that's the thing where it leaves scar tissue on the next person, you know, and that's where we're getting these rubbish relationships, because too much scar tissue has been left. And then there's a lot of men out there and say, I ain't going with her, she's got mental health. Well, where do you think the mental health come from? It came from people that mistreated people. But it's not mental health consistently, is it? It's, yes, they struggle with emotions, but you can take away the whole of depression with the right person. You can take away a lot of depression. You can live a life of luxury when with the right support, you know. And if you ain't got that support, then go and find that support somewhere else. And that comes in the shape of friends and hobbies and interests. Find that interest, you know. How much time are you going to invest in misery? How much time are you going to invest in depression? You, every time you cry, they ain't crying. If men don't cry, they are secret, but they act in another way to. What I know from men, this is my experience of past men, a man doesn't. Yeah, I got to find it. I'm going to leave it. What I know from some men, some. I'm not going to put them all in the same category, but my past experiences from men and people that I know of is that man has never left clean. He's always gone in the hands of somebody else, and then they got caught, and that's where the relationship ended, because they got caught. I'm not suggesting all men are cheats, but I'm saying men don't finish off a relationship or get themselves sorted out before they get involved in another. So they're still left with old baggage like baby mama drama and all of that, you know, sometimes. But at the same time, it's equally exactly the same for women as well. Women can also have a lot of baggage as well, and trauma, and have been sometimes conditioned, very much conditioned. So these are the things that we have to be mindful of. Are we conditioning ourselves into the situation the way we're living? Are we conditioning ourselves? And I think if we have to think about the meaning of life, we weren't brought in this life to be unhappy. We was not brought into this world to be unhappy. And if there are a million people out there in the world, when people say, oh no, I only want that, oh, you reap what you sow. If you want misery, then misery likes company. I don't like misery. Okay. So for me, for those people that had support and it's been taken away, those people that once had someone there doing for them and it's been taken away, then we find other solutions to that. There is always a solution, but the solution is you. How much are you going to be prepared to get into depression? You know, it's the men that, or your partner, or your boyfriend, or your girlfriend causing it. I'm not saying they're causing it. I'm saying that the lack of understanding is causing a disruption in the relationship, and someone's suffering. So that's the thing that people need to be honest about. Suffering. Do we actually want those people suffering? We don't. We don't want people suffering. Of course we don't. We want to help people up, not hurt people. But people are being hurt because men are not talking out. You're right. So therefore, how do you expect things to resolve? And the way I look at it is, if a man wants to be a role model and wants to be crowned a king, first he must set the example if he is to lead a queen. Except for sometimes the women are queens. That's right, they are queens, and they're not to be second best to anything. Women are delicate. We were the ones that had the males in the first place. So it was about respect. But you've got to have that respect for yourself to know when things are hurting you. And don't try to do anything with your life over a man. God knows the amount of times I used to have a wobbler over a man and try to end my life or do something stupid over a man, realizing I was leaving my friends and my children and my loved ones behind because of one man. He was so replaceable, trust me, and I replaced him. As you do, you replace them. As you do. You don't have to be on your own. But what you must do is understand what the warning signs are. You must understand the red flags. You must avoid those red flags. You must understand that you as a woman and a man have to have respect, not to allow degrading treatment. It's not acceptable. All right. So that's where I would go from that. I think I left my relationships in the past because they were degrading treatment. And I even got to the point where I ended up being homeless because of degrading treatment. Okay, so having to rebuild after relationship breakups can be a very tricky thing, and yes, can make your emotions wobble and make you feel unstable because you're grieving for what you thought you were having this beautiful happy ever after, and then it gets screwed up because somebody doesn't want to listen, somebody doesn't want to talk, somebody doesn't want to address something that can be put right with a conversation. The investment, the time, what have you got to lose? But sometimes we have to recognize that your partners may be going through depression themselves and may find it difficult and may be masking something themselves. Or we can suggest if the people are struggling to seek therapy, to seek counseling, to seek guidance somewhere first. Try it. Don't always assume it's down to one individual because it's supposed to be teamwork and somebody actually has to listen. And if you're repeating yourself over and over and over again, well, I know that when you was in school, they wouldn't repeat themselves over and over again. You didn't listen. You were disciplined. It's very simple. So, I mean, disciplined in a way where you would expel from the school, isn't it? It's a teaching. If you're in someone's arena, it's a teaching curve. You're expelled, isn't it? If you're not going to honor or recreate, then you make someone's life boring. We didn't get into relationships for them to be boring. We got into relationships because they were, oh, this is fun, this is brilliant, this is lovely. You know, some people do, and some people get in relationships because it's friendship, because they want a companion. Who knows why people get into relationships? But is it for love? And what is the definition of love? If you don't know how to love yourself first. So love yourself is to be kind to yourself and to make sure that you carry on with yourself no matter what. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. People will call you in the midst of your storm, will give you little messages and let you know your self-worth every now and again. So you're not alone. You're not alone. Because when you think it's silent, it's not silent. You're not alone. It wouldn't be the worst. You just got to know how to handle a breakup. And I think if you can do it respectfully and honestly and be honest about your feelings, it's about your feelings, how you feel. And it might be the most toughest decision that you'll ever have to make. But is it? The most toughest decision that you ever had to make was whether or not to take your life. That was the toughest decision. And when you get up from that storm, you don't want to go back to that. So you have to appreciate and treasure and respect life and help other people forward in as my friend Zoli would say, soft landing, to make sure that there's somebody is there, somebody is there. Okay. Right. It's developing interests and hobbies is very important for our well-being. We have to get the pleasure back in our lives. We do. It's what does love look like? I always thought that I would get married, have children, big house, fence picket, and all of that stuff. I thought, because I saw it on telly, I wanted some of that. I always thought that I would have this, 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 this. I saw it on telly, I'll have some of that. But I think I always just didn't realize that I can have all of that, but it starts with here, with me first. And I can achieve those things on my own if necessarily, but I'm never on my own, because at the end of the day, I've got people, I've got love people, I've got people around, I'm exploring new people, that I'm meeting new people. And I think that's the meaning of life for me, is to explore, not to be bogged down. Is to explore. Routines don't work for me. Even though we say we need routine and structure for mental health, yes, we're talking about we need stability. We need to make sure that your medication's right. We get that point. We're talking about, we don't want necessary routine where you know what's going to happen. What happens to surprises? What happens to romance? Is romance dead? Do we not do this much anymore? You know what I mean? So that, yeah, depends. Anyway, so I'm just going to read these out, and I'm going to leave you lovely people to your evening. You never know what really is the underlying unless you're ready to start addressing it. That's right. And I think there's like I said, women and Esther's, and I think there are a lot of romantic men out there. There really are a lot of romantic men out there, and sometimes it works the same way. You get what you put in, you get back. And if one person is absent, then that makes two people absent, right? It takes a couple to make it work, right? So again, that's what I'm saying. When things become absent, you're more focused on why, the reasons why. Why is it becoming like that? Rather than what. How did it get there? How did it get like that? What's the cause? What's the problem? How did we get here? What's the change? But still, it's about self-respect and what you will put up with, and what you shouldn't put up with as well. Okay. Angela says, that's what she says. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Suzanne, and thank you, Mark. I'm so glad, actually, that my fiance brings all the baggage to the table. It's an absolute privilege to be trusted to help her heal from previous relationships. Look at that word right there, to help her. And how you help people heal. See, I always think people say you can't help them, people have to help themselves. But I think how you help people heal is with those listening skills, is with how you react to a situation being brought to the table. Past traumas, we don't always want to talk about the past traumas, and we actually can be triggered. Those are the things we want to talk about. Oh, I spoke to, and this is what was said, and I felt like that. And that's bringing things to the table and talking about things, yeah. But yeah, you got to have those date nights as well. And I think it is nice when you can speak openly and honestly with your loved ones, your friends, your family, full stop. I think it is about trust. And I think trust is a very hard thing. But I think it's about you trusting yourself to make the right decisions for yourself. That's what that is about, really. It's about you, innit? You're the only one who knows what your mind is going through. You're the only one what images you're putting in your mind, and what you're how you're treating yourself and your body. So on the basis of insecurities, or on the basis of not feeling that you're gaining what you need out of the relationship. And if people are insecure, go ask yourself why they are insecure. Where did it come from? Have they had cause to it? You know? So how can you prepare and get things on track? Talk. But most of all, respect. It's final, isn't it? Respect. And that respect, please have it for yourself, and respect for others, to be kind to them as well. Because everybody goes through a difficult time. So tomorrow I'm going to be speaking to 3 men. This is how I love it. I love it. I'm going to speak to 3 men. Unfortunately, some of these American, unfortunately, I'm going to be speaking to 3 men who are going to be bringing me such an awareness tomorrow, and bringing the community awareness. And I love the fact that I can call them up and say, hello, hi, will you come and do a talk in aid of suicide prevention, please? And I don't even know these people. So I'm talking to strangers. So I'm learning to talk. And you wouldn't think it, would you? But when I'm talking to people one-on-one, I get nervous because of the judgment. When they go, what do you do? Well, I do mental health. Why do you do mental health? And then that's where the judgment can come into it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, but don't judge me because of the word. Why don't you look at my capability? What am I capable of as an individual? What is my talents? What are my gifts? How do I shine? And I feel those people out there that are not getting what they want, please pamper yourself. Pamper yourself, self-respect, and self-create. You got to develop new skills. Talk to someone. I don't know. But the happiness has got to come from within. And how are you going to get that if you're stuck in depression? How are you going to get that if you're worried about other people? Sometimes you can't fix other people. They have to prepare themselves. You would know what that's like if you've been in your mist. You would say no one could help you but yourself. And when you did come out the other end, you realised that it was you that was putting the one foot in front of the other. Change has to come from you. And change has to come because somebody really, really wants it. It can't be forced. You cannot force something that doesn't want to remain or doesn't want to be, So time is a healer, they say. So for today, find yourself a nice bubble bath, pamper yourself, experiment with makeup, take some selfies of yourself and look at them back at yourself and before and after, and just have a laugh with yourself and just enjoy. Try different hairstyles. I mean, I put a plait in mine today, I thought, I'll do something, I'll do something. I put a plait in it, and well, that was supposed to have a little badge on the end of it, but that kind of didn't work, That was supposed to be wrapped underneath there, and like that, and well, something like that at the end of it. I was just trying to recreate, but if I sat here now, as I speak, there we go. Let's have a look. So let's have a look. Make sure that I don't pop out. If I sit here and speak, this is what I did before I come online. I put this on. But this is how I was before I come online. There you go. There you go. In the comfort of my own home. I'm normal. I'm real. No holds barred. There you go. What a difference. Do I look presentable now? Do I look... I know if I look back at this picture, I'll think, oh my God, look at the state here. But actually, I'm good. I'm happy. So I'm going to go and pamper myself now and wash off this mask, because that's all it is. Because behind closed doors, I too, at the end of the day, may be going through my own ordeals, and therefore have to structure out my life and balance my life. But what I will do today is reward myself for the tasks that I set for myself today, because I achieved them. I showed up. I did what I said on the tin. And that's what I keep doing, showing up to improve my own life, to improve my health, to explore. I'm joining things that I never thought I would join. I'm exploring products that I probably wouldn't even have explored. You know, I'm taking vitamins because other people are encouraging me about my health. I'm being involved in other people's lives by looking and promoting what they're doing to encourage them. That's what I do. It keeps me busy, keeps me occupied. I enjoy giving back. And I think if more people gave back, then the happier the world will be. Like there's a load, right? So anyway, thank you very much all for being here. Tune in tomorrow live when we have our guest speakers. The mom will have guest speakers. As I said, Errol McKellar, Mick Snelders, and Jemmy Reese telling you about their prostrates. So I look forward to talking to these men about their bits. Yeah, they're going to be incredible. I feel it already. And you know what? It's about the awareness, isn't it? It's about don't ever give up trying to make a difference within you for the things that you do for other people. And I think when you plunge yourself into other people and help other people, that's the thing. It takes the load off the load. That means I don't have to focus on what's going on. Doesn't mean I'm ignoring it. It means that as time passes, I've been so preoccupied in looking for a better tomorrow rather than looking in the sorrow. Take care of yourself.